Hello and welcome to Jamie's Motion Graphics. Today we're having a look at how to make a selection and how to fine-tune it to actually match your target. It's a fairly simple tutorial, I think, but it is very necessary that you understand how this works because it is so useful. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, here we are in After Effects. We're going to learn today how to make a decent mask, and to do that I'm going to import a file. It is going to be this photograph, and we're going to put that in a new composition. So just put on composition, new composition, and it's going to be called comp 1. I don't really care. 1280 by 720, 30 frames per second, 30 seconds long. None of that really matters. We're just going to drop it in here, and we're going to scale it up a little bit. Hit S for scale, but it doesn't really matter. You can do it with the small one as well. So let's say we want to select the entire dude, but not the rest. So yeah, we do want this suit as well. So first of all, we're going to use the pen tool for that. And to do that, we're going to just, select it. And then, for example, start here. I'm going to I need to select the layer. We're going to just select that. I will delete the shape layer later. So we're going to make a very rough mask first. You don't have to be super precise about it. If you see like nice geometric shapes, you can be a little coarse about them, because those will be very easy to maneuver around once we go and apply the rest of our mask thingies. So go outside of the picture if you want, it's fine, and just connect it together. So yeah, deleting a layer, obviously just select it, hit delete. It should be easy enough to understand. So we have a very rough sketch now of what we want. So let's put the other picture behind it, so the original picture. And hang on, why is it not showing up? Well, whatever. We'll see it soon enough, I guess. Because it's smaller, of course. So let's say C179. You can, of course, just add in the number as well and just put it behind the other one. So now the front one is actually the cutout one, as you can see, and if you make both of them visible, then it will look like this. And we're going to make this one transparent, so hit T. That's for opacity. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. And now we make it good enough so we can see the difference between the two pictures. And we're going to select the top one, because that's the one we're working in. That's the one that has the mask. Go to the top part of the mask. I don't know why. It's the same whether you go to the top or the bottom. And just go to your Convert Vertex tool. Convert these ones to have handles. You will see it automatically just gives them handles and kind of estimates what you want to do. But obviously it has no clue what I want to do. So yeah, there's that. So try to shape your mask by drawing the handles forward and backward. And then yeah, the two of them will make this curve. But the problem is that if you set the angle here, the angle will be carried over to the other part. So sometimes that gives you some problems. And yeah, I do recommend that you solve them by just, well, trying harder, and not by doing this, which is here. Let's say we have this, right? If I now want to change the right side but not the left side, I can hold Alt and just, hang on. It doesn't always work for some reason. Now it does. So it breaks, and it allows you to make separate angles for left and right. So I can make this into this and this into this, and it will be fine with that. The problem is that you will end up with a dent here, and especially in a face like this, you don't want like a sharp edge in there because it looks terrible. So you're way better off just trying, well, to maneuver these things a little bit better and to, well, just compromise between, well, things that you show, things that you don't show, but don't change the angle. Keep the angles the same. So if you do end up with something like this, and you don't know how to fix it, go to your Convert Vertex tool, hit the thingy, hit it again, and then you're back to where you were. It's just that, well, you do need to reset, or it does get reset, so you do need to remake it. And yeah, that's kind of tedious every now and then. But it's better than the alternative. And yeah, you can actually do it with Alt as well, reset it, but yeah, you can try that for yourself. So I'm going to make this, or all of these, into the smooth points, the ones with the handles. And then we're going to go back to the selection tool. And as you may be able to see here, we do have a sharp edge. So in fact, what I just discussed like way too long was actually only for that point. Here we do want a sharp edge because, well, it is a sharp edge. So currently we can drag this around and perfectly make his face the way it's supposed to be. It's over here. And there you can see, you can zoom in if you're having trouble, and you can actually just see where his face goes. So where you place these points, that's really up to your experience and of course how many points you want to make. Less points is always better, and not like, that's not an opinion, that's just the way it is. Less points means that you have, first of all, less work, but way more importantly, you get less well, distortion in the roundness of things. So if you get a lot of points, then you have to align them perfectly for it not to show up in the final image. And that is very hard to do, if not impossible. So we're going to transform this point. So just keep it to a few points. You can always add more points, but yeah, you can also always just remove more points, but that's not the point. The point is that if you make too many points, it is really hard to get the right, well, setup. By the way, this is also a sharp point because, well, it's not one object, it's two objects. One is his ear, one is his face, and they kind of meet in a 90-degree angle, so just make that into a 90-degree angle. So here, for example, I don't have enough points, and I will have to make some new ones. So we're going to see if we can make that work. Go to the Add Vertex tool. You can also just do it with the pen tool, it's the same. I think you can even do it with the Convert Vertex tool. And just go to, well, depending on how much detail you want in it, you can, of course, add more points. I currently don't really need that much detail. So I'm just going to make a smooth transition from this to the edge. You can go outside of the picture if you want to, but it will show up as black eventually. So what we're doing here is we're making a smooth transition. I think I could have even deleted this point. So if you want to delete a point, go to either the pen tool or the delete vertex tool and just hit the point. It should be easy enough to understand. And then you do have to compensate, of course, with the other 2 points. So as I said, I don't really want super detail, so I'm just going to ignore this little part that's above here. I'm just going to make it a very smooth thing. So if you're like, yeah, but I now made this whole curve over here, well, first of all, you can cut that off later. You can also just go here and select this, hold Alt, and then just drag it down. And then just make sure that, well, you don't have that anymore. So currently this one is a little bit too far to the right. Okay, let's see how this lines up. This lines up perfectly. We could of course go a little bit up, but then yeah, we do get some bleed through from the white background. And assuming we don't want that, we just skip it. Anyway, I'm working top to bottom here because the bottom can be done very roughly. So I'm going to start again in the top and do the other side. Exactly the same. Currently, just using the Convert Vertex tool here. Oh, yeah, there you can see it. With the Convert Vertex tool selected, as you can see, I can still make new points. It says plus, and that's, well, I accidentally did it before, that's why I noticed. But yeah, it should be fairly straightforward to understand. So I converted everyone. You can of course also just select all points, then convert all of them at the same time, and just leave whatever you don't want to convert unselected. Easy enough to understand. So let's make this happen. Just drag them around a bit. The handles are pretty intuitive, at least I think they are. And we do want to drag this one away from it. So once again, just hold Alt, and it makes that the thing breaks. Sometimes it also breaks when you're creating things that move over time. But we are not doing that today. We are doing a stationary picture. So as you can see, this curve is never going to describe this ear. So not in a sufficient way anyway. So we're going to add a new point here. It will automatically have handles because the points around it have handles. And now we can actually make this into the perfect ear if we want to. So yeah, it's just a matter of positioning your points correctly. And correctly doesn't mean that there's only one way to do it. There are in fact several ways to do this, but I do want to remind you once again to not use too many points, because it becomes very, very hard to make this into an even decent selection. And well, you want to have, of course, the best selection possible. So we're going to go into the little thing there. Hopefully we can get a nice selection there. I'm going to make this into like a straight down angle as well, even though technically it isn't. Yeah, let's do it like that. Okay. So by the way, I chose this picture just because it was the first one that I came across. There's no hidden meaning or anything like that. So yeah, let's do it like this. And then once again, we can, if we want to, make this into, well, this. So just a straight line down. I guess lines are always straight. Otherwise, they wouldn't be called lines. They would be called curves. But yeah, that's the mathematician in me. So we do have him selected now. We can disable the back layer. And if we deselect everything, you can see that we have a perfect selection over there. And that is awesome. So yeah, now we can apply a background. I don't really know what we want to do with this, but let's do a new solid. Make it not purple. Let's make it white for now. And put it underneath everything. I'm going to just delete this layer. That was the background picture. So what I want to do with this layer is, for example, make, hang on, select it, effect, generate 4-color gradient, And yeah, this is a little bit too hippie. We're going to tune down the opacity, make it into a little bit of a softer color, and make them into all kinds of blue. Okay, that's one. We already have one blue, so don't want to make two of the same blues. Okay, so 4 different types of bluish colors, and you can see that it becomes kind of a nice background. You can up a little bit if you want to. And now we can even make the selection if we want to make sure that we don't have like this side part, so we can actually cut it off right here if we want to, by just changing our setup. I think that's composition settings. Yeah, we can do the width into something less. Let's say, I don't know how big it is, but something like that. Maybe, no, it's even less. You can also look it up. You can just look up the width of the picture and then multiply that by 1.79, which is my current scale factor. And then you should be able to work out how big it actually is. Let's make it 800 then. Nope. So bad at this. You can probably do this in a much easier way, but you never need this, so I really don't know how to do this. 600. Oh, that's almost there. But as I said, you can just cut this off and it's easy enough. Let's make it 500. There you go. Perfect. So now we can use this as our basis, let's say, of our animation. And currently, this is all I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you how to make a decent selection. And you can look at your selection by hitting M for mask and then going to the mask path. There's your selection with all kinds of different mask tools used. And, well, basically, perfect selection. Everything is round where it needs to be round, sharp where it needs to be sharp. And we didn't use too many points. So yeah, we did have to add in one here, and well, I added this one here, but then removed one here. Also, I have one too many points over here, but yeah, you can see that you can select a complex shape with very little effort if you know how to use those little vertices that are over here, well, everywhere basically. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.